Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. He wants it. I'd love that. I'd love that. Mr. Tough Guy. You know, he's Mr. Tough Guy. You know when he's Mr. Tough Guy? When he's standing behind a microphone by himself. That's when he's... He wants to bring me to the back of the barn. Oh. Some things in life you could really love doing.
Io vorrei chiederti perché uscendo
ti compro e ti metto in giardino a scrivere libri.
Perché tu prima tu hai detto ti hanno messo le manette, all'uscita non avevi le manette. Scusami,
guarda i miei libri quanto vedo, guarda i tuoi.
Però perché dobbiamo uscire su questo? Vi prego, allora...
That I don't think I gave a shit around me what anybody thought about it. I mean, in an unhealthy way. I mean, people who I was responsible for their care and their leadership, right? So I was just too hard on people. And the difference was I had kids. And once I had little Max, my son, I started thinking, if someone ever spoke to my son the way I speak to some of these people, I'd flat rip their heads off. This is, you can hold people accountable and push them without emasculating them or shaming them.
Right. But we're not one parliament, right? So would you do the parliament thing?
I don't like that bit. Although I like your one. In your parliament, they got swivel chairs. Like, that's amazing. No, you're out of order, mate. It's so informal. A swivel chair. You would not get that in my parliament in England. Order, order. Like, it's more grown up. Your parliament, people are like, hey, fucking hell. Excuse my language. Sorry, Australia. If Australia can't take swearing now, good God.
C'est bien. Ça va. Ça va, Manu? Non. Voilà. Tu es là, dans une cérémonie officielle, tu te comportes comme il faut. Donc tu peux faire l'imbécile, mais aujourd'hui c'est la Marseillaise et le chant des partisans. Tu m'appelles Monsieur le Président de la République ou Monsieur. D'accord? Voilà. C'est bien. Et tu fais les choses dans le bon ordre. Si le jour où tu veux faire la révolution, tu apprends d'abord à avoir un diplôme et à te nourrir toi-même. D'accord? Et à ce moment-là, tu iras...
No, damn well who I am. Everyone in this arena to scream at the top of your lungs. The Mayweathers. Imagine that. Look at everybody up here. They're all dressed like me. They're all trying to talk like me. They're all trying to be me. 53. The notorious Conor McGregor weighs in at a ready 150. You ain't got you look grown now.
No, I make this racing. This is racing. Okay, we'll see.
Oh well, obviously words exchanged there between.
Going into maybe silent films, that might work out.
Maybe that's the move. Maybe I switch it up, start to go for silent films.
What was it that scared you about taking on The Descendants?
Well, then it was just a trickier role than I'd done before, and I wasn't really worried. Oh, there's John. I wasn't worried so much. Hang on 1 second.
Come on, there we go.
Let me tell you something. I said hi to John, but while he was standing there, I stabbed him in the back.
Are you going to let our Mexican Damian Bichir win?
I would love it. He's wonderful. And what a sweet, sweet man. He sent me a bottle of tequila.
Did you drink it?
I'm going to.
All
of it.
Your role in the Descendants was so subtly played. I think that's what everybody's raving about, is how understated.
Значит, объект планируется к сдаче в Госкомиссии в июле.
В июле и планировалось в июле? Или есть какая-то сдвижка по срокам сдачи?
Я думаю, что в госкорпорацию нет смысла спрятать.
Нет, реально...
Да я отвечу,
это первоначальный срок в 2009 году, который был запланирован, это июнь 2011 года.
Июнь 2011.
Да. Сегодня...
Значит, прошел июнь 2012, сейчас у нас февраль 2013.
Да.
Какая гарантия какие, что когда вы сказали в июле задержка с окончательным вводом на 2 с лишним года?
Да, 2 года.
А с чем это связано?
Связано с неисполнением предыдущим исполнителем. исполнитель, следующий исполнитель, собственник Красной Поляны, юридическое государство то же самое.
А кто это?
Был товарищ Белалов.
Ну, товарищ Белалов, он чем сейчас занимается?
Сейчас курортными северным Кавказом.
Молодец, а чем еще? Вице-президент Олимпийского комитета. У нас есть президент, и вице-президент Олимпийского комитета страны занимается вот такой стройкой и так стаскивает.
Своя компания какая-то строительная.
Удорожание объекта есть?
Да, удорожание тоже есть серьезно, но оно, поскольку строится за счет собственных средств, то в данном случае...
Собственных средств кого? Насколько?
Стоимость этого всего комплекса 8 миллиардов.
Удорожание насколько, спрашиваю?
200 стоил. Да. Вот. Стало 8.
Из миллиарда 200 превратилось в 8 миллиардов. Молодцы.
Ну, да.
Хорошо работаете.
Silverback gorilla takes center stage, making everyone else scatter. By moving out of its way, the other gorillas instinctively submit to the dominant male. This displacement is a simple but very effective reminder of who's boss.
Kevin loves seeing himself on the big screen, and for him, that's an iPad mini.
Before wrapping up the roast with a dose of humility.
But the things that I've done really don't define who I am. It's how you rise from a fall that truly defines you as a man.
Hey, you were discovered on YouTube. Time flies when you're a piece of
You caused $20,000 in damages.
Down the windows, it is one of the safest vehicles on Earth, if not the safest vehicles on Earth, as it should be, protecting the U.S. president, Emmanuel Macron, and you can see the French First Lady,
Yes.
Madame Macron, who are waiting for the U.S. president.
Prova adesso! Zio Luca! Oh! Zio Luca!
People understand that the House of Representatives needs to pass this piece of legislation.
I've listened very carefully to what has been said in this chamber and out of it. To what has been said in this chamber and out of it by members from all sides.
Talk shows, you got Hillary Clinton to go to your wedding because
true.
you gave her money.
True.
Maybe it works for Hillary Clinton. It doesn't work
Jeff,
for anybody on
Jeff,
this stage.
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
That was my job, to get along with people.
But the
I didn't
simple
want
fact
to.
is,
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I
The
didn't
simple
want
fact
to.
is,
Jeff,
Donald,
oh,
you
good.
cannot take.
More energy tonight. I like
No.
that. Look,
I was asked the question.
I didn't want. It was my obligation as a businessman to my family, to my company, to my employees, to get along with all politicians. I got along with all of them, and I did a damn good job in doing it. Go ahead.
So, he supports Pelosi. He supports Schumer. He supports Clinton.
Got along with everybody.
And when he asked.
Do you expect Matt Whitaker to be involved in the Russia probe? Do you want him to?
It's up to him.
Do you want him to rein in Robert Mueller?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
Avoid, frankly, the fact, and we can.
We need
dispel
border
that.
security. I think we all agree that we need border security.
Yes,
Is that
we
right?
do.
Good.
We do.
See? We get along. Thank you, everybody.
Do you remember those? My spies told me you were quite the regular at Studio 54. That must have been an amazing time. Why don't you tell me about that?
What is there to remember? Martha Graham's face, Andy Warhol's wig. That's about it. I rarely think about the past. What I care about, what can happen today, tonight. What may happen tomorrow. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wonder if you could comment on
this disconnect that we seem to have in this country, where you are presenting information about what's happening at the border, calling it an invasion, talking about women with duct tape over their mouths and so on, and yet there's a lot of reporting out there, there's a lot of crime data out there, there's a lot of Department of Homeland Security data out there that shows border crossings at a near record low. That shows undocumented immigrants committing crime at lower levels. That shows undocumented criminals or undocumented immigrants committing crime at lower levels than native-born Americans. What do you say to
you don't really believe that stat? Do you really believe that?
What do you? Well,
Take a look at our federal prisons.
I believe in facts and statistics and
Okay,
data.
any more quick? Let's go.
Let me just ask you this: what do you say to your critics who say that you are creating a national emergency, that you're concocting a national emergency here in order to get your wall because you couldn't get it through other ways?
What do you think? Do you think I'm creating something? Ask these incredible women who lost their daughters and their sons. Okay?
I'm not forgetting about it. I'm asking you to clarify where you get your numbers, because most of the DEA crimes reporting statistics that we see show that drugs are coming across at the ports of entry, that illegal immigration is down, and the violence is down. Okay. So what do you base your facts on?
Come on, let's go.
Secondly...
No, you get one. You get one.
Well, the second
just sit
question
down.
is...
Wait, sit down. Sit down.
Could you please answer?
Sit down. You get one question. I get my numbers from a lot of sources, like Homeland Security.
Can I just add something real quick before we shut it? Everybody, please get behind Friday at 6. Make sure you support. Dirk's been holding it down for the community since ages. I mean, like I said, I was a worker in a sales department watching him through a YouTube channel. So I need Berlin. I need everybody to get behind this guy because he's got a huge vision, and a lot of big news is going to come out soon, all right? So this is just the beginning of the new wave. Get ready for it.
Do you know what Adderall is? Do you know Ritalin? Do you know now that Ritalin is a street drug? Do you understand that?
The difference is this was not against her will, though. But this wasn't against Brooke's will.
Matt, I'm asking you a question.
I understand there's abuse of all of these things.
No, you see, here's the problem. You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
Aren't there examples, and might not Brooke Shields be an example of someone who benefited from one of those drugs?
All it does is mask the problem, Matt. And if you understand the history of it, it masks the problem. That's what it does. That's all it does.
You shut it down, you
Yeah,
got killed.
let me say something, Mr. President. You just say my way or we'll shut down the government. We have a proposal that Democrats and Republicans...
of our border security, and when you look at the job that we're doing
You
with
just
our
said
military,
it is effective.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, you just said it's
Without
effective.
a wall, these are only areas where you have the walls.
We want to do
where
this.
you have walls, Chuck, it's effective. Where you don't have walls, it is not effective.
Hours clicking through. Here are the courses that people are taking, and wow, isn't it interesting that this person is interested in these things? And it was just text, right? There was nothing that was like super interesting there. But
Do you know much about guns, Mr. Bond?
No, I know a little about women.
Have you ever had a situation when you felt amazing, okay? For some reason, things were working out for you.
I think one thing we should do is we should stiffen up our laws in terms of the death penalty. When people do this, they should get the death penalty, and they shouldn't have to wait years and years. Now the lawyers will get involved, and everybody's going to get involved, and we'll be 10 years down the line. And I think they should stiffen up laws, and I think they should very much bring the death penalty into vogue.
They're not interested at all in education. They're interested in the indoctrination of people as young as they can get their hands on, so to speak. Now, we need to figure out, our society needs to figure out.
I'll give you another reason why you should be authentic. Eventually, people are going to come for you. So if you have a big enough following, there are going to be people that want to tear you down, that want to see you lose. And if you've been faking it along the way, that will be very easy for them to tear you down. So when I decided to step out front about 3 years ago, I said, okay, look, I'm going to have to be authentically myself, and my mantra was, I'm only going to say things that if you woke me up in the middle of the night, so I'm already drowsy and confused, you punched me in the head, so now I'm dazed and confused, and asked me a question, I'm going to give you the same answer in front of the camera that I would give you then, when I'm confused, and it's literally just sort of gut instinct and the truth of who you are as a human being. That has served me very well.
Rosie attacked me personally because I was very happy when her talk show failed. The other thing that failed, and this was a real monster, and everybody was suing her, was her magazine. Her magazine called Rosie was a total disaster. So I loved it. I gloat over it. I think it's wonderful because I like to see bad people fail. Rosie failed. I'm happy about it.